Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that touches the heart of every human being: true love and relationship. In a world full of distractions and fast paced interactions, we often mistake infatuation, convenience, or habit for love. But true love, real, enduring, and transformative love, is something deeper. It's not just about romance, it's about commitment, growth, and connection. Many people confuse true love with physical attraction or the excitement that comes with newness. While those feelings can be intense and even magical, they are often temporary. Infatuation is like a spark. It flares up quickly but fades just as fast. True love, on the other hand, is like a steady flame. It might not always burn with the same intensity, but it provides warmth, comfort, and light through every season of life. Physical attraction is natural and often the first thing that draws two people together. But attraction alone cannot sustain a relationship through the challenges that come with time, differences in opinion, life stress, personal struggles, and moments of emotional distance. When the thrill of novelty fades, what remains is the real measure of love. True love is built on a deeper foundation: shared values, emotional connection, mutual respect, and a willingness to support and care for one another, even in difficult moments. It's about seeing beyond appearances, recognizing a person's soul, their dreams, their fears, and accepting them for who they truly are. It's about being present, not just during happy moments, but in times of vulnerability, confusion, and pain. Moreover, true love is patient. It allows time for growth and change because it understands that no one is perfect. It does not demand constant validation or perfection, but is rooted in a quiet confidence that you are loved as you are and that you are capable of loving someone through all their changes as well. In this way, true love transcends the fleeting nature of infatuation. It is not dependent on circumstances, appearance, or temporary highs. Instead, it matures over time, deepening with trust, with shared experiences, and with a commitment to stay connected no matter what comes. There is a common misconception that a perfect relationship is one without conflict, where everything runs smoothly and both partners are always in sync. But the truth is, perfection in relationships is a myth. Real, meaningful relationships are not defined by the absence of problems, but by the way two people choose to face those problems together. Every relationship involves two unique individuals, each with their own backgrounds, beliefs, experiences, and emotional triggers. It's only natural that disagreements will arise. There will be moments of misunderstanding, frustration, and even hurt. But these moments don't mean the relationship is broken. They mean it's real. What matters is not avoiding conflict, but learning how to navigate it in a healthy and respectful way. Effort is essential in maintaining a strong connection. Love is not a one-time feeling that you fall into and expect to carry you forever. It requires showing up emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically on days when it's hard. Effort means listening when you'd rather be right, apologizing when your pride tells you not to, and choosing to understand rather than react. Understanding is another key component. It means being able to see things from your partner's perspective, even when you don't agree. It's about recognizing their intentions, their wounds, and their ways of expressing emotion. True understanding grows from empathy, not assuming you know how they feel, but being open to hearing it directly from them. And then there's compromise, a word often mistaken for weakness. But compromise is not about giving up who you are or being submissive. It's about meeting each other halfway, finding balance, and respecting each other's needs. In a real relationship, Both partners must be willing to bend sometimes, not because they are losing, but because they value the relationship more than winning an argument or insisting on control. In the end, the strength of a relationship lies not in perfection, but in perseverance. Couples who stay together through the years don't do so because they never hurt each other or never disagreed. They stay because they put in the work to understand, forgive, adjust, and grow. They know that love is not about being flawless, it's about being faithful, especially when it's hardest. Communication and trust are not just important elements of a relationship, they are the very foundation upon which true love is built. Without these two core components, even the strongest feelings can weaken over time, and even the most passionate connection can become fragile and uncertain. Communication in a relationship is more than simply talking. It involves openness, vulnerability, and honesty. It means being able to express your thoughts, needs, and feelings clearly without fear of judgment or rejection. It's also about listening, not just hearing words, but truly understanding what your partner is saying, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. Good communication is not about always agreeing, it's about creating a space where both people feel safe to be themselves. One of the most common reasons relationships break down is a lack of communication. When people stop talking, stop sharing, or start withholding their thoughts and emotions, distance begins to grow. Misunderstandings turn into assumptions. Assumptions turn into resentment. And over time, two people can find themselves emotionally disconnected, even while living under the same roof. That's why communication must be continuous and intentional. It should be gentle during conflict, affirming during tough times, and joyful during moments of celebration. It's not just for problem solving, it's a daily practice of emotional connection that reinforces love, concern, and unity. Trust, on the other hand, is the quiet power that holds a relationship together when everything else is being tested. Trust is built over time through consistency, reliability, honesty, and respect. It's knowing that your partner has your back, that their words align with their actions, and that they will protect your heart even when you're not looking. Trust allows you to be emotionally open because you believe your vulnerability will not be used against you. Once broken, trust is hard to repair, but it's not impossible. It requires patience, accountability, and a sincere effort to rebuild what has been damaged. Trust grows in the everyday choices we make, in how we respond to each other, how we handle mistakes, and how we show loyalty through both words and actions. When communication and trust are strong, the relationship becomes a safe space, a place where both individuals can express their truest selves, work through challenges together, and build a love that is stable, enduring, and deeply meaningful. One of the most beautiful signs of true love is when a relationship becomes a source of growth rather than limitation. In many cases, people enter relationships seeking comfort and companionship. And while these are important, true love goes beyond simply making someone feel good in the moment. It actively encourages and nurtures growth, both as individuals and as a couple. Every person has dreams, goals, and a unique identity. In a healthy, loving relationship, each partner supports the other's journey of becoming their best self. This doesn't mean losing your identity in the relationship or making sacrifices that stifle your individuality. Instead, it means having someone beside you who celebrates your evolution, pushes you to do better, and walks with you through every step of your personal development. True love never asks someone to shrink themselves to be more manageable, less intimidating, or easier to love. It says, grow. I'll be here cheering you on. It doesn't feel threatened by your success or independence. In fact, it thrives in seeing you reach your potential, whether it's pursuing education, building a career, improving mental, emotional well-being, or discovering new passions. A loving partner acts as a motivator, not a barrier. Growth in a relationship is also mutual. It's about learning from each other, being open to change, and allowing the bond to evolve with time. This includes growing emotionally, developing patience, empathy, and emotional intelligence, as well as growing together in how you face life's challenges. Couples who embrace growth together tend to build deeper, more meaningful bonds because they understand that love is a journey, not a destination. Furthermore, growth isn't always comfortable. It requires self-reflection, accountability, and sometimes difficult conversations. But true love creates the space for that growth. It allows for mistakes and imperfections while encouraging maturity, healing, and progress. It doesn't cling to the version of you that first showed up in the relationship. Instead, it adapts, evolves, and loves you through every stage. In this way, true love becomes a catalyst for transformation. It helps both individuals become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, not only for each other, but also for themselves and the world around them. When love supports growth, it becomes more than just a feeling, it becomes a force that elevates life itself. At the heart of every lasting and meaningful relationship are two powerful forces: loyalty and respect. While love often starts with emotion, attraction, and excitement, what keeps it strong and enduring over time is the presence of unwavering loyalty and deep mutual respect. Without these, even the most passionate relationships can become fragile, unstable, and ultimately unsustainable. Loyalty means more than just being physically faithful. It's about emotional commitment, standing by your partner not only when things are easy, but also when a relationship is tested by life's challenges. Loyalty is choosing your partner every day in your actions, words, and even thoughts. It means not entertaining temptation, not speaking negatively about your partner behind their back, and not allowing others to disrespect your relationship. It's about protecting your bond and making your partner feel secure and valued, even in their absence. True loyalty also involves consistency. It means being dependable, someone your partner can count on, someone who shows up, honors promises, and remains by their side through both the storms and the sunshine. It's about being present, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, and never using someone's vulnerability against them. Respect, on the other hand, is the lens through which love is expressed in a healthy and uplifting way. It means honoring your partner's boundaries, acknowledging their opinions, and appreciating them for who they are, not who you wish they were. Respect is speaking kindly, even during disagreements. It's listening without interrupting and valuing their perspective, even when it doesn't match your own. Respect means seeing your partner as your equal, not trying to control, dominate, or manipulate them, but instead recognizing their right to be their full independent self within the relationship. Respect also shows up in the way partners handle conflict. Instead of resorting to insults, blame, or silence, respectful love encourages open dialogue and fair communication. It means allowing space for your partner to grow, make mistakes, and be human without fear of ridicule or punishment. And it goes both ways. Mutual respect is the only way a relationship can truly flourish, because it ensures that both individuals feel seen, heard, and safe. In relationships where loyalty and respect are lacking, insecurity, mistrust, and resentment begin to take root. But when both partners are loyal to each other's hearts and respectful of each other's humanity, the relationship becomes a sanctuary where love isn't just felt, but also protected and honored. This kind of relationship creates emotional freedom where both individuals can be themselves fully and love each other deeply, knowing they are valued for who they are. It is a common myth, often fueled by romantic movies and fairy tales, that love should always be easy, effortless, and smooth. But in real life, even the strongest and most genuine relationships go through difficult moments. Challenges are not signs of failure or incompatibility. Rather, they are natural and inevitable parts of any long-term commitment. In fact, it's how couples respond to those challenges that defines the strength and authenticity of their love. Every relationship will encounter storms, misunderstandings, financial stress, health issues, external pressures, family conflicts, or periods of emotional disconnection. There will be moments when one partner is struggling internally and the other doesn't quite know how to help. There will be days filled with doubt, frustration, or even silence. But these struggles don't mean love is gone. They mean the relationship is real. And real relationships are built in the trenches of life, not just the mountaintops. Facing challenges together as a team builds resilience and deepens emotional intimacy. It shows both partners what they're made of, how far they're willing to go to protect their bond, and how much they're willing to sacrifice for one another's well-being. It creates a sense of shared history and emotional security that can't be built through joy alone. When partners support each other during hard times, they build trust. They learn to depend on each other, not out of weakness, but out of partnership. A relationship becomes a safe space when each person knows that no matter what life throws their way, they won't be left to face it alone. That assurance becomes an anchor, especially when everything else feels uncertain. Additionally, challenges reveal a deeper kind of love, one that isn't just about attraction or compatibility, but about commitment and endurance. When one partner is hurting or failing and the other chooses to stay, to comfort, to uplift, that is true love in action. It's easy to love when everything is going well, but the real test of a relationship is how love is expressed when things go wrong. Moreover, going through difficult times allows couples to grow stronger together. Each problem solved together becomes a shared victory. Every trial endured builds emotional muscles, making future difficulties easier to navigate. These experiences cultivate empathy, patience, and gratitude, qualities that enrich the relationship in the long run. In a culture that often glorifies instant gratification and quick exits, it's important to remember that lasting relationships are forged in both good times and bad. Those who commit to staying through the struggle often discover a depth of love and connection that others never get to experience. Because it's not the absence of problems that makes love last. It's the willingness to walk through them hand in hand. Many people believe that love is something you either feel or you don't, a magical emotion that sweeps you off your feet and carries you effortlessly through life. But while love can begin with a rush of emotion, what sustains it over time is intention, effort, and most importantly, commitment. True love is not just a fleeting feeling, it is a daily decision made over and over again, especially when the emotions aren't as intense or when life becomes complicated. Feelings come and go. They are influenced by mood, environment, stress, health, and countless other factors. There will be days when you don't feel that romantic spark, when you're tired, annoyed, or simply distracted. In those moments, love doesn't disappear, but it transforms. It becomes a choice to stay present, to be kind, to be patient, and to support your partner even when it's not easy. Choosing to love means choosing to care, to listen, to give, and to forgive, not once, but continuously. This kind of love isn't passive. It's active and deliberate. It's waking up each day and deciding, I choose you. It's making the effort to nurture the relationship, even when it would be easier to withdraw or shut down. It's being loyal in thought and in action. It's planning a future together while handling the everyday responsibilities of the present. It's choosing to show up even when you're tired, hurt, or overwhelmed. Commitment is what transforms love from a moment into a lifetime. It means sticking together through change, boredom, uncertainty, and conflict. It means understanding that the relationship might not always feel perfect, but choosing to work through the imperfections instead of walking away from them. Commitment builds trust because it creates a foundation of reliability and safety. Two people choosing each other over and over again, even when circumstances make it difficult. This level of commitment also involves sacrifice, but not in the sense of losing yourself. Rather, it means sometimes putting the relationship first, setting aside ego, pride, or convenience for the greater good of the bond you share. It means fighting for each other, not against each other, and investing in the relationship not just when it's fun, but especially when it's demanding. Ultimately, the idea that love is always supposed to feel good is misleading. There are days when love is quiet, days when love looks like doing the dishes, holding hands in silence, staying up late to talk through a problem, or simply choosing not to give up. These small daily acts of commitment might not be glamorous, but they are what true love is made of. Because real love doesn't just happen, it's built brick by people who choose each other every single day. In many relationships, people mistakenly believe that love means ownership, that once someone becomes your partner, they somehow belong to you. This idea often comes from insecurity or societal conditioning that equates love with control. But true love does not seek to possess, it seeks to partner. It thrives not in control or domination, but in mutual respect, freedom, and collaboration. Partnership in love means walking side by side, not one leading and the other following, but both moving forward together, equally invested in the journey. It's about being each other's teammate in life, not just each other's romantic interest. True love celebrates individuality while working toward unity. It means recognizing that both people have their own strengths, dreams, struggles, and contributions, and honoring those differences without trying to change or control them. Possession is rooted in fear, the fear of losing someone, the fear of not being enough, or the fear of vulnerability. It often manifests in jealousy, manipulation, or emotional dependence. But love that is based on fear cannot flourish. It creates tension, anxiety, and eventually resentment. In contrast, true partnership is rooted in trust, freedom, and the confidence that love does not need to be forced or monitored to last. A loving partnership is built on shared purpose and mutual support. It's not just about romantic gestures, but about building a life together, making decisions jointly, sharing responsibilities, setting goals, and supporting each other's aspirations. It means being there for one another, not only in affectionate moments, but when hard work, problem solving, or sacrifice is required. Importantly, a relationship built on partnership understands the power of equality. No one is more important than the other. Each person's voice, feelings, and boundaries matter. True love does not belittle, dismiss, or overshadow. It empowers. It encourages open dialogue, collaboration, and a sense of we that is stronger than the individual I, yet without ever erasing individuality. In such a relationship, both partners feel valued and safe, knowing they are loved not for how well they conform to expectations, but for who they truly are. There is no need to prove worth or earn affection. It is given freely, with respect and sincerity. When love functions as a partnership, it becomes a powerful and enduring force. Together, partners can weather storms, achieve dreams, and grow stronger with each passing season. Love becomes more than just an emotion. It becomes a source of purpose, strength, and shared identity that enriches both lives far beyond what either person could accomplish alone. In conclusion, true love and meaningful relationships are not defined by fairy tale perfection or fleeting moments of passion. They are built on a foundation of trust, communication, respect, loyalty, and a shared commitment to grow and face life together. They require patience, effort, and a willingness to choose love daily, even when it's difficult. When we understand that love is not about possession but partnership, not about perfection but persistence, we begin to experience its true power. It is in those quiet acts of care, in the willingness to support each other's growth, and in the strength to face life's storms together that real love is revealed. So let us strive not for perfect relationships, but for honest, intentional, and loving ones, where two people choose each other, grow together, and build a bond that time cannot weaken. Because in the end, true love is not just something we feel, it's something we live every single day.